Did you know that abortion is already illegal according to the Constitution?
No, I didn't, because it's not.
The Fifth Amendment and the 14th Amendment say that no person shall be deprived of life without due process. So let's think about this logically.
I'd love to, which is why I'm here, because I don't feel like you're up to the task.
If life begins at conception, then abortion kills someone without due process of the law.
See, I fucking knew it. If life begins at conception, you're not even a full fucking sentence in, and we've already fucking lost it. If I had $1 million, I'd be a millionaire, but I don't, and I'm not. If grandma had wheels, she'd be a wagon. Still not sure where that saying came from. Am I the only one who remembers old people saying that shit? Anyway, doesn't matter. You're wanting to talk about how the Constitution applies to a person. So I need you to put your book of fairy tales away that you obviously also haven't read, because that doesn't say life begins at conception either, and pick up a law book, since we're talking about, the law. And according to U.S. law under 1 U.S. Code 8, the words person, human being, child, and individual shall include every member of the species of Homo sapien that are born alive. You know what doesn't happen at conception? Being born alive! Since a fetus hasn't been born alive, it is by constitutional definition not a fucking person, and therefore not entitled to constitutional rights like due fucking process.
To trust the actual science, life begins at conception. Every embryology textbook, all of mammalian biology, and 95% of all biologists who work professionally in the field agree with that sentence.
I'm not even gonna bother to fact check your probably very wildly unreliable sources, because once again, you brought up that you wanted to talk about the constitutionality of abortion, and then you go on to talk about everything that is not the Constitution. It doesn't matter whatever Texas School Board biology book you dig up says. Person in the Constitution, as defined by U.S. law, is somebody who has been born alive. And born alive, according to U.S. law, means they've been completely expelled or extracted from their mother and are breathing and moving voluntarily on their own. I've heard of moving the goalpost, but you're moving the whole goddamn stadium. Also, suddenly now you care about science? 99.9% of scientists say anthropological climate change is a real existential problem, and you're like, oh, conspiracy. 99% of scientists accept the theory of evolution, and you're like, that's just a theory. Or how about the science behind vaccine efficacy? But some PragerU biologist suddenly says life begins at conception, and now we need to trust the science. Like, get fucking real.
And then we can just simply bypass all of the nonsense arguments raised, like the personhood argument or bodily autonomy. No matter what your philosophy or morality is, it's already illegal.
Ugh, your argument just gets worse. I'm gonna go ahead and counter your argument and say that not only is abortion not already banned by the Constitution, restricting or outlawing abortion is actually illegal according to the Constitution. At least according to a more logical and reasonable interpretation of the very same 14th Amendment you tried to use to support your half-baked ideas. The 14th Amendment says that no state shall deprive a person of life, liberty, or property. Now remember, according to U.S. law, when it comes to a pregnant woman, the woman is a person and the fetus is not. According to the 14th Amendment, a woman who is the person in this scenario has the liberty or the freedom to make the decisions to do with her life and her property, which is her body. Legally, blood and tissue is considered a person's property. She uses her liberty to make her life decision to remove a foreign object from her body. She can do that, constitutionally speaking. This is the same law that means that you can't be compelled to give me a kidney if I needed one. You can't even be compelled to give me, your children, your parents, anyone blood if any of them needed blood. You cannot be forced to use your body to keep a person or anything else alive. There's absolutely no legal argument to this the other way. No one debates this, so applying that same constitutional and legal interpretation, a woman cannot be required to keep what is legally not a person alive using her body. And I know the people who make these kinds of arguments tend not to be real brushed up on the female anatomy. A uterus, that place where the fetus grows, that's part of her body. At least if we're gonna trust the science. Good talk.